Hi, just a note before we get started that this has been a tremendous effort to finally get launched. I have called this my Project 2025 with positive impacts and community in mind. And so I definitely want to do a big shout out and thank you to those who have been following and supporting my journey. A special thank you to Bertie Bukowski and family and Dr. Dean for really being big supporters of this Noodle Neighborhood project. And so without further ado, welcome to Noodle Neighborhood. Hi, I just moved into a new neighborhood. It's called Noodle Neighborhood. Have you heard of it? A place where we celebrate Asian foods and cultures. And everyone's invited! In case we haven't met, my name is Halo Chang. I'm an author and educator on a mission to creating safe and inclusive spaces for all children and families. Oh, and I must be a little hungry too. What am I craving today? You know, I had dim sum this past weekend, and I didn't get a chance to eat egg tarts. That sounds kind of good right now. Oh, that reminds me. I wrote about egg tarts in my ABC Adobo Boba Chai book. E is for the emperor, eating egg tarts on an elephant. How many words did you hear that start with the letter E? Now, did you hear that there are two E sounds? There's the E sound, like eating, which is the long E sound, and the sound, which is the short E sound. Emperor is the short E sound. Emperor, like egg. Ooh. And elephant. Those are all short E sounds. What other words start with the letter E? That's right. Ear. That's a long E sound. How about the bird that flies in the air? Eagle. Also a long E sound. What's this? That's the elbow. Now, is that the long E sound or the short E sound? I think you're right. I think that's a short E sound for elbow.
Did someone say egg tarts?
Oh, hey, that must be my neighbor friend, Alister Felix.
Hi everyone, I'm Alister. You caught me in the middle of eating an egg tart. Let's talk about it. The egg tart is the most iconic, flaky, delicious, and sweet treat in Cantonese cuisine. If you've ever been to a dim sum restaurant or a Cantonese bakery, I'm sure you've seen these egg tarts. And if you've seen them, you're pretty lucky because they're usually snatched pretty quickly. Did you know egg tarts aren't originally from Hong Kong? The egg tart was actually inspired by English custard tarts, which were introduced to Hong Kong by British influence in the early 20th century. But like everything in Hong Kong, it was quickly adapted to local tastes. Basically, the British brought the idea, but Hong Kong perfected it. Cantonese bakers made it sweeter, silkier, and wrapped it in that super flaky pastry crust, and that's how we get the egg tart we know today. Another fun fact is, egg tarts are actually part of my Let's Go Yum Cha Again children's book. This is one of my favorite spreads because I wish I could lie on a egg tart like this, but I teach you how to say egg tart in Cantonese. If you can see it, it says dan tat, and that's how you would say it. So next time when you go to a dim sum restaurant, try ordering an egg tart in English or in Cantonese. Try it. Say it with me, dan tat. Doesn't this look so good? Try not to eat the book. For me, egg tarts aren't just a sweet and delicious treat. It actually reminds me of my childhood and my family. When I was younger, we would always get dim sum every weekend, and at the end of it, we would always order egg tarts. We would always fight for one, and then, we would always order more. And every time I eat egg tarts now, it would always remind me of that memory, and also remind me that egg tarts are just a little moment of joy. So if you ever see an egg tart at a bakery or at dim sum restaurants, make sure you order one. You won't regret it. And guess what? I saved you one.
Just when I was hungry and wanted a snack. That's so nice of him. Let's try this together. Ready? It's so nice to have a neighbor that can share something that they love and it's part of their culture, which kind of reminds me of something. Earlier this year, after the LA fires had caused so much devastation, I reflected a lot about what it means to be a good neighbor and to have a strong community around you. It was really powerful to see people putting out their neighbors' small fires because that neighbor happened to be out of the home or working or whatever it may be, or just really coming together as a community. Or another house would be opening their home for evacuees because that this person's house was burned down, but this person opened up their home to let other people come in and stay. Or the outpouring of donations that came in to help with people trying to get situated in like really devastating times. And so I was really inspired by that, and I really wanted to make a stronger connection with the people that I lived around during Lunar New Year's. And so with Lunar New Year's, I bagged up these really, goodie bags with symbols of good fortune to want to pass out to my neighbors in hoping to kind of connect with them. It's kind of felt like the opposite of Halloween, where I was giving them treats instead of people coming to my house. What helped me was that, one, I was doing it with my kids, and so I wanted to be a good example for them. And then two, I figured delivery people do this all the time. They're knocking on people's doors. So how hard could it be, right? So I'm walking with my kids to the neighbors' doors and feeling kind of nervous, but kind of excited about this new thing I wanted to try. And so I would ring the doorbell or knock on their door. Sometimes the dogs would bark and someone would come down and crack open the door and be like, "Hi, I'm Angel. I live down the street, and I just wanted to share this with you. It's a Lunar New Year goodie treat bag." And then I think they felt really relieved. It was just like, "Oh, hi!" There was never this opportunity to connect before, but because I was offering something,
thank you,
in light of Lunar New Year's, immediately all the nervousness went away, and so they were very excited to meet. And it's like, "Oh, hi," and so we just kind of exchanged some really quick words, and that was it. And so it was just kind of a nice connection with neighbors, and then my kids were able to say hi. There were a few cases where people weren't home, and I would just kind of wave to the Ring camera and be like, "Hi, I'm the neighbor down the street, across the street, and I'm just dropping off a new Lunar New Year bag. Happy Lunar New Year," and I'd drop it off at their door and just kind of wave. And so, and I had my kids go up and kind of knock on the door and kind of get involved too. And so just wanted to set an example of what it means to be a good neighbor. Another note to add is the reason why I also want to do this, because my own mother-in-law had an abundance of these oranges to share with us, and not only did I get my fill of my oranges, there was something that she was able to share with me from her tree, and so I had the privilege to share oranges with my neighbors. That was kind of a really nice feeling of abundance that I can pass on. And so later that week, we got two neighbors who came at different times during the week that they came to ring our doorbell, and they came to return the favor and give a red envelope, which is also a symbol of good fortune, as a way to reconnect. And so that just something so simple can be so profound in wanting to say hi to a neighbor, and in return they did a very small but very meaningful gesture as well too. So yeah, so thank you, mother-in-law, for sharing the oranges so that I can share with my neighbors, going with my kids, and here's to you getting to know your neighbors in your neighborhood. Cheers. Oh, so good. So that's it for our episode here at Noodle Neighborhood. I want to do a really big shout out to Alister for being such a great neighbor and sharing your love of egg tarts. You can find more about his books, Let's Go Yum Cha, Let's Go Yumcha again at dimsumbooks.com. Noodle Neighborhood is an inclusive community where we celebrate Asian foods and cultures with themes of diversity and inclusion for friends and families of all backgrounds. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find more about us on Instagram at Noodle Neighborhood. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you here next time on Noodle Neighborhood.